Let a few people trickle in. Hey guys, how you doing? It is a beautiful day here in the sunny south, and you can get excited to know that today, allegedly could it be, although it's hurting me a little bit inside to even think about it, could be the great pruning. Because Bear Mini Mom came through, and she made markings of where I'm supposed to cut this tree. So we could do the great pruning today. So we'll see how that goes. A little nervous about it. So, I was up all night and getting everything ready because I just turned our lessons on the Media Industrial Complex into a course. It's something I've been working on behind the scenes. And it's something that I'm so passionate about because we have this great debate in our society. I mean, it's not really a debate, just a lot of people are brain dead. But of these people who, they believe everything the media says, or, you'll hear, this news station's giving it to you straight, and that news station's a liar. And then depending on who you ask, they'll tell you the opposite. They'll say, liar, no, my news station is giving it to me straight. And those people that you listen to are liars. And then, of course, you'll have just the people that in general believe everything the media says. And they'll say, don't listen to Classical Learner and people like him. Those are over on the internet. Don't listen to those people. Right? So how do we determine as individuals, how do we figure out who's giving it to us straight, who's telling us lies, and what information that we should believe? And it's very interesting because it's really a term that you don't hear a lot, but there is something called the media industrial complex, because the media is just a bunch of corporations. So the question is, how many corporations are we talking about, right? When we teach our children media literacy, it's one thing to look at them. Just wanted to remind you that you are awesome and amazing. Thank you. Right back at you. Really appreciate that, Bunny. Right, when we teach our children, sure, we can look at them and we can say, Anderson Cooper is a liar. Right? He's a liar. Don Lemon's a liar. You can look at them. This guy, that guy's a liar. I don't even know who these anchors are. Some people will look at them and say, but Tucker Carlson got your back. Tucker Carlson got your back. That's what they'll say, right? But all you're really doing is telling your children that this person's an authority and that person's not an authority, right? You're not really teaching them to discern. You're not really teaching them a skill that they can carry with them throughout their lifetime. And in a way, when we're looking at our children and saying that this guy's the man, right? I mean, in a way, we're almost creating a form of idol worship, when what we need to be doing is teaching them to think critically and discern for themselves where truth is coming from and where it's not coming from. And the way we do that in terms of news media is to teach them about the media industrial complex. Now, when I started Homeschools Connected, I knew the media industrial complex was one of the first courses I wanted to teach. Yes, of course, teach them morals. Was one of the first courses I wanted to teach. And part of the reason for that is when I did my reading and when I looked into the education system, I came across the works of great thinkers, and one of them was John Taylor Gatto. And Gatto did research into the elite private schools in the United States of America. And what he found is they had 14 lessons taught at these elite private schools that, aren't taught in public schools. Usually when I do the title that I say that you're a public school student is denied, right? Because that's just rhetorically powerful. It gets the people going. They get fired up, right? If you deny my student that education that you're giving to this rich guy. But I don't care about that part. The point is that there's 14 lessons taught in these elite private schools. And one of those lessons that really stuck with me, especially with my journey and seeing the world for what it is and all the lies that we're surrounded with, right? I mean, they're constantly lies. They're trying to get us to surrender our rights. They're trying to get us to turn against our neighbors. They're dehumanizing us in the eyes of our neighbors, right? They're dehumanizing me based on my immutable characteristics. It's disgusting. They're trying to get us to embrace their foreign wars, to support something called the military-industrial complex, right? So something that really stuck out to me is these elite private schools, their students, one of the 14 lessons that they focus on is institutional insight. Insight into the way that institutions function. And when I started my homeschooling company, I knew that that was something I'd be very passionate about. And that's why I started focusing on the media, right? Because the media is a very important institution. I mean, yeah, you can memorize historical stuff and that might help you, that might hurt you, depending on your perspective. But in terms of your daily life and the impact it has on you, all that stuff is nonsense in comparison. But understanding the institution of banking, now that will have a profound impact on your life. Understanding the institution of militarism will have a profound impact on your life. Understanding these institutions is so powerful. And understanding the media industrial complex will have a profound impact on your life, because ultimately there's going to come times in your life where you turn on the news and they're telling you that if you do this, something bad will happen to you, and if you don't do this, you'll be okay, or do this and you'll be okay, don't do this and something really bad will happen to you, right? I mean, this is, you turn on the media and they're bringing the fear at you. They're telling you, listen, you do what we tell you to do. Otherwise, you're going to be in a world of hurt. Otherwise, your neighbors who we've dehumanized, who we've told you they're less than human, we told you they're bad, they're going to hurt you. Or, maybe if you get too close to someone, it's going to hurt grandma, right? If you get within not 5 feet, not 7 feet of someone, it's going to hurt grandma, right? So ultimately, or there's foreign people across the world, and if you don't have your 18-year-old child who you loved, who you've nurtured, who you've brought up from the time they were little babies, you held them in their arms, you're the first person to ever hold them, you take that baby, that little child. My daughter took a step for the first time today. You take that little baby who you watched take their first step, who you watched develop language skills, and you take that baby, and when they're 18 years old, you tell them that they have to go across the world with weaponry and fight someone that they've never met, that they don't know anything about, in a place that they don't know anything about other than what these liars in the media are telling them, and fight them, to the end. I mean, understanding these institutions will have a profound impact on your life. And then, what do you mean, what's the point? You're not keeping up? So understanding these institutions is so important. So when I started my homeschool community and the classical learner, I dropped out. So you're probably smarter. So understanding the way that media works, right? It's so important. So when I started Homeschools Connected and Classical Learner, my homeschool company, I knew that's what I wanted to focus on. And one of the studies we're doing right now is into the media industrial complex. And I've turned it into a course, and it's really important to understand this stuff. So what our students are doing to understand the institution, because if you don't understand the institution, then it does, all right, yeah, Anderson Cooper's telling me the truth. Tucker Carlson's telling me the truth. But the talking heads will always change. But what doesn't change is the levers of power, the mechanisms of power. So, for example, it's very relevant to know that in the 1970s, there was something called the Church Committee. And the Church Committee was a congressional investigation led by Congressman Frank Church, hence the name, the Church Committee, which investigated the activities of the Central Intelligence Agency, the NSA, the FBI, the internal, those people. And that is true power. You would understand what true power is. You dare utter our name. But investigating these institutions, these bureaucracies, these government bureaucracies. And the Church Committee revealed that the CIA, the Central Intelligence Agency, had spent billions of dollars, adjusted for inflation, but billions of dollars worth of today's money funding, bribing, for lack of a better, there is no lack of, that's the term, news journalists, and not just foreignly, but domestically, including news organizations. So while the Fourth Estate, the media, was supposed to be this unbiased branch, this check against power, there's a reason in the First Amendment of the United States Constitution, it says that you will not suppress the free press, right? Well, the reason for that is that's supposed to be your checks and balance. That's supposed to say, hey, look at these politicians, look at these foreign wars they're waging. Hey, Flocal, look what they're doing, and this is bad. Well, we found out that the CIA was bribing these journalists, that they were on the take, and then not just a few, I mean billions of dollars worth of funds. Expect them to be objective. Well, we can't, right? So that is a very relevant piece of information. I'm only choosing to look at one side. Okay, Tammy, how am I only choosing to look at one side? What I'm talking about is teaching your children how to follow the money, because the money doesn't lie as well as politicians. The money doesn't lie as well as politicians. The money doesn't lie as well as media, right? So, okay, the Church Committee is paid for by insiders, but it's admitted by the CIA, and you can literally track the money, right? So, you have the Church Committee, where the CIA objectively spent billions of dollars bribing journalists, and the committee that you're saying that would go against that, the Rockefeller Commission, right? Like, you do understand. So we're going to talk about that committee, right? You're saying, oh, they're saying that they didn't actually do that, right? The Rockefellers came in, the Pike Committee, right? Which, my name, but, right? So do you understand the history of the Rockefellers and why they had their own commission? Again, I'm not going to get into the Rockefellers because it's so rudimentary that if you don't understand that, but like, do you understand that, again, there's just so much history there that, so, anyway. So, you want your children to, I'm not even going to get into the Rockefellers, but, because I'll do a whole stream on that. So, yes, the commissions that you're saying that went against those findings were put together by the Rockefellers. They were the Rockefeller commissions. And if you don't understand the problem with that, then you just have no basic understanding of corruption throughout the history of America, because the Rockefeller is probably the most corrupt family in American history, right? So you're just delusional if you think that because the Rockefeller said that's nonsense, it's nonsense, right? You just don't understand what's happening in front of you. You're probably covering your face because you don't understand how the Rockefellers also took over the medical industry. You probably trust everything that you learn in universities because you don't understand that the Rockefellers leveraged grant money to take over American universities. You probably think that oil is a fossil fuel because in the 1800s in Geneva, the Rockefellers funded some scientists and they got them to say that oil comes from fossils, from rotting fossils, right? And the reason they got them to say that is because then people would believe that oil was scarce and they could drive up the prices of oil, you see? So like when you say that like the Rockefellers went against the Church Committee and I don't know what I'm talking about, I think you don't know what you're talking about. Because I actually plan on teaching an entire course on the Rockefellers at one point because they deserve it, because they've earned it. So the next thing you need to understand is that, we'll get back to the Rockefellers in this. So the next thing that you need to understand is that the media itself is made up of corporations. So you have government infiltration into corporate media. You have government funding of journalists, right? Government funding of news organizations, because understand that the CIA is a bureaucracy, right? Right? I mean, the CIA is a government bureaucracy. So then you have these corporations, and you think you have choice, right? So what you want to show your children is that choice is an illusion, right? They could put on ESPN, they could put on Disney, they could put on Cartoon Network. They could put on ESPN, they could put on ABC, they could put on Cartoon Network. But what they need to find out is that those are all owned by Disney, right? And that I actually usually say, and that if you track all of the media, when you turn on the television, you think you have all these choices, TBS and TNT, all of those news channels, and this includes Hollywood, the Hollywood studios, Hulu, Netflix, all of it is controlled by, I usually say 6 corporations, but the truth is it's 5. I'm not quite sure which one. I think, did Disney buy 21st Century Fox? So I think it's 5 corporations actually control 90% of what you consume on television. So, okay, so there's not a lot of choice, but what's the problem with 5 corporations owning 90% of what you see on television, right? What's the problem with that? Well, you're dealing with a very small handful of people who are decision makers, who drive agendas, and that means a very small handful of people have, buddy, stop barking. Buddy boy. Thank you. A very small handful of people have an immense amount of power, and it's the type of power where they have influence over your worldview, right? Then they'll lose their job. When Stephen A. Smith was bashing Kyrie Irving, right? The Stephen A. Smith who makes $8 million a year turning sports into a soap opera, right? And turning, feminizing sports for men, right? That's his role. That is his role. So when he called out Kyrie Irving, he actually admitted, I could go back through videos and show you, at one point, he was like, well, I ain't losing my money, so I'm getting my shot, right? Right? So understand that if he went against that agenda, if he took the side of Kyrie, he would have lost his $8 million a year, right? So that's very important to understand how much power these few people have and why there's such uniformity in certain agendas, right? Every corporation in the United States of America supported the mainstream narrative that was rolled out in 2020, in March of 2020. You don't see a problem with that? And by the way, if you want to look more into corporate consolidation, well, what's the opposite of white? The opposite of white rock. What's the opposite of white rock? Yeah, look into that look into that corporation, right? That institution, right? Consolidation's a big problem in late stage capitalism, which it's ironic because I get attacked by, the socialists. They really hate me, but they're correct in that there's a major problem with late stage capitalism, and the opposite of white rock is a clear demonstration of that. The consolidation of corporate media is a clear demonstration of that, right? So you want your children to understand that 6 or 5 corporations control nearly everything they see on television, and the same people that control these corporations are the same people that spend billions and billions of dollars trying to win political elections, right? They're trying to win political elections, right? So, how do you win political elections? Well, you have to get the people to vote for your politicians. Well, how do you do that? You start to shape their views on the world, and you do that through what they watch on television. The television programming. These freaking people. So, I don't know. I can't help you, bro. You're not in the right place. I'm not here to convince you. You go live your life, and you go do everything the media wants you to do. You're not. I'm not gonna call you. All right. You go do everything they tell you to do, and you go get, I hope you get 1,000 boosters, and you just do great for yourself, all right? Like, this is not the place where you're like, there's no evidence of this. Like, corporate consolidation is a very easily monetary tracked thing. Do you understand that? Right? The findings from the church committee are a very easily tracked thing. The opposite of White Rock is a very easily tracked thing. By the way, a lot of these people, like I'm targeted these days, so don't be surprised if they actually do understand it. And let's just say that I've done enough where I get contacted by some very interesting people on in my inboxes. I get contacted by the type of people that change their phone number all the time and work with encryptions and those type of people, because they get impressed with what I do and they try to help me. You understand? So I get contacted by some very, very impressive people. And one of the things they've helped me cope with is understanding that a lot of these people that attack you on the net are they're paid to do it. And a lot of them are actually part of I see, like, this is the type of stuff. Let's just say the intelligence agencies have the ability to well, you all hear about, it's a Russian bot, it's a Russian bot, it's a Russian bot. Well, you think Russia's the only one with these bots? Anyway, so the world's very complex, and everything is, unfortunately, information, misinformation, dehumanization, so it just comes with the territory. But it's fine. Made a very positive impact on the world, and unfortunately, when you do that, when you walk with Jesus, you attract the vitriol of demons. So the next thing to understand is, so who are these people, right? Who are these people that control these corporations and this media? So you start to look into their affiliations, and then what you find is what you want your children to look into. Thank you, Yo Mama Loves America. I like that name. So when you look into it, there are 3 organizations which have immense control over the media, and those organizations are the Council on Foreign Relations, the Bilderberg Group, and the Trilateral Commission. Now, for the CFR, and when I say immense influence, I mean immense influence, but for the CFR, what you do is you have your children look at their stated objective, which is, for lack of a better terms, the pushing forward of the New World Order, right? It is to advance American political and corporate interest. Political and corporate. That sure sounds fascist. It's funny because I'll be the one accused of being a fascist, which is so, like, ironic, it's laughable. But man, that agenda from that immensely powerful institution, now that sure sounds fascistic, right? Because the definition of fascism is a partnership between government and corporations with dictatorial powers, right? That it advances the interest of a nation. Of course, it's some kind of Frankensteinian monster mix between fascism and its dirty little cousin, Karl wasn't on the mark. So, that's the world we live in. That's fine. But, so you want them to understand the Council on Foreign Relations and its stated objective, not like conspiracy theorists, like they have websites and they just openly put their objective right on their website. Then you want them to look into the Bilderberg Group, and again, they openly admit that they started having their meetings in 1954, but the media didn't even admit these meetings took place until the 1970s. People would say, "Hey, are these meetings going on?" And they would say, "That guy's a lunatic." Whatever word they used, back in those days. So you want your children to understand what these groups are, and then you want them to think critically. I mean, just imagine there was a meeting and Bono and Justin Bieber and Barack Obama and the Queen of England and all these people were at these meetings, and the media, who is a member of this group, doesn't even bother to tell the public. And not only do they not bother to tell the public, but they lie about it. They lie about it, right? They lie about it, right? So, and then they can use their discernment and say, okay, well, is that a red flag? Is there something, nefarious about that? Should you be concerned about that, right? The people that are members of this organizations or the news media that knows about these organizations and they're not reporting on it, right? That just doesn't sit well with me, right? I mean, just from a rating standpoint, again, I'm alone. I mean, imagine having all these powerful people, right? People are interested in these people. And no, we're not going to cover that. We're going to deny the existence of the meeting. And then, of course, you could have your children dig into rabbit holes if they want, but you don't have to. Like, they don't have to dig into those rabbit holes to understand the problem, right? To understand the problem here. And then after that, and this week what we're doing is we're having our children look into lobbying because unbeknownst to a lot of people, many of the talking heads you see on corporate news media are actually well-paid lobbyists. So by studying this stuff, the children start to understand the levers, right? How they're leveraging control over media, the mechanisms of power and control over media. And through that, they can better understand what's happening, when they turn on the news throughout the rest of their life. And they can make up their own mind if they want to trust these people or not. So that's a class I'm teaching. www.classicallearner.com, Homeschools Connected, promotion code together, and it's $10 a month for membership to Homeschools Connected. And we're doing a lot of really other great things with it as well. Anyway, back to the Rockefellers, because I just wanted to touch base on them again. So the Rockefellers were the honorary chair of the Council on Foreign Relations. Now, you're generally not going to become the head of the CIA unless you kiss the ring at the Council on Foreign Relations first, right? So the Rockefellers were the chairs. The Rockefeller was the chair of the Council on Foreign Relations for like 50, 60, or 70 years or something like that. In charge. Where does the Council on Foreign Relations come from? Well, in the 1800s, there was a professor, John Ruskin. And John Ruskin was an Oxford professor, and he had a student named John Cecil Rhodes. And John Cecil Rhodes had a monopoly over the world's diamond supply, Beers Diamonds, right? And if you ever want to look into an interesting monopoly, even to this day, look up how diamonds actually work. Diamonds are neither rare nor valuable. Diamonds are neither rare nor valuable. But the marketing and the monopoly behind them is phenomenal. I mean, that is power. You want to know what power is. So, John Cecil Rhodes had a monopoly over the world's diamond supply, and he listened to Ruskin, and Ruskin said that the English had a moral responsibility. This is why people hate religion. Had a moral responsibility to spread English culture throughout the world. Their culture of Western imperialism was so much better than other cultures. The way they started to do that is they created these think tanks, the Royal Institute of International Affairs, which if you want power in Britain, you better kiss the ring of the Royal Institute of International Affairs, right? The Council on Foreign Relations in the United States of America, and they partnered with the J.P. Morgan Jr. and John Rockefeller, right? John D. Rockefeller. There's same think tanks in Canada and South Africa and all over the country, and they use these think tanks through their funding and to ultimately, it becomes the ring. You have to kiss the ring. You have to push the agenda of these think tanks, otherwise you're not going to get the power you want. You have any evidence? Yeah, literally the last will and testament of John Cecil Rhodes. It's in his will, right? So that's what the Council on Foreign Relations is. You can't be on camera. If you want to be on camera, you gotta put your shirt on. Thank you, Brady. I don't think I want to go back and read the... I knew I did the media industrial complex today, so I knew it would just be annoying trolls. That's right. Politicians aren't for education, for sure. Where is your evidence on? I mean, do you know how brain dead you have to be to not realize that rich and powerful people will scheme to make more money and power? Oh, do you, bro? You live your life the way they're telling you to live? And The Guardian, which is currently writing articles saying that, you know, if you're making under $300,000 a year, which is everyone, if you're making under $300,000 a year, then, you know, you're just going to have to get used to the new normal, which is a lower quality of life. You know, you're not going to be able to drive anymore because gas prices, but you could take the bus. You're not going to be able to eat meat anymore, so just eat lentils. Go Google this. This is right from The Guardian. So you can just have lentils, and if your dog has cancer, just, you know, you can just put the dog down instead of trying to save your dog. So you can go listen to those people who are trying to get you ready for another new normal. I'm sure you already accepted their new normal, which is why you probably lived your life in fear, covering your face and staying away from people for the last 2 years. Or you could go my route, in which I've been living my life more freely than I ever have. I've make my own schedule, go where I want to go, hang out with who I want to. I give lots of hugs to people because I'm a hugger. You know, so you can go your route. And when you're having lentils and I'm growing my food, you can go, where is your evidence? Right, it's a choice not to see it. And that's, it's cognitive dissonance. And no matter what you show people like that, they'll never see it. Which is why, you know, whenever I talk about waking people up, right, that's why I said this place isn't for you. Like, we're not here to argue with you. Like, go away. And I always say, when you wake people up, it's almost cruel to just tell them, hey, this is happening. What you do is you just plant little seeds. Like, I saw some video, it was really interesting, and then just drop it. And then if they decide on their own time, like, oh, Brett said there was an interesting video, I'm going to go look up that video, right? And then when they start looking for it on their own, it could start to sink in. And what happens with a seed, it's like a seed through concrete, right? All of a sudden you get a little crack in your concrete and a sprout goes through, right? And then over time, that sprout will grow into a tree and will just break that sidewalk, right? And that's how you wake people up. So for people like the Tin Man, you know, in terms of this place, I don't even know why someone like that would be here. Why would you be here, right? This isn't the place for you. This isn't. So anyway, all right. So I do have this. Bear Mini Mom gave me a picture of this is my lemon tree. She wants me to butcher my lemon tree. Actually, not so bad what she wants me to do. All right, we'll do a little pruning. We will do a little pruning. But I'm very uncomfortable with this. It hurts me inside to think that my lemon tree will be being massacred. But it's for a good reason. It's for love, lemon tree. It's for love. So you grow bigger and stronger. Melissa has been talking about this tree for a week. And if I don't cut this tree on the stream, I think she's going to RV here and beat me. So the tree will be pruned. It will be pruned. Whoa, whoa, whoa. Before you pull the leaves off the avocado tree, I think it's nitrogen deficient. So I'd like to go to the garden center today and just see if we could get it some nitrogen first before we start pulling leaves. But yeah, the avocado tree, the bottom leaves are a little yellow. You know what? Was it the Tin Man of the Scarecrow? It's great. Hardwood Bear coming in with a zinger. All right. Sorry for don't mind the lack of view here. Just give me a second. I have two devices. I'm going to bring the lemon tree. All right, I got to prune all. All right, I will prune one at a time. We have 3 trees here. I'm going to walk this back over to the... table, because just with the devices, it'll be easier to manage. Hey, Brady Bean. All right. I'll walk you guys back over here. Jesus, lemon tree's heavy. All right. Who would have thought a tree is heavy? All right. I can't believe this lemon tree is heavy. Oh, my Nelly, I can't believe it. I can't believe it. All right. Here we go. All right. YouTube, sorry. Gotta get you guys set here. We're gonna do this tree. All right. Just want to get YouTube so you guys can see it more. There you go. All right. All right. So, I think I have to take off the bottom. So, because you want it to grow up and tall, is my understanding of pruning. So what I'm going to do is I have this little one. This little one I'm going to cut. Okay? If I'm making a mistake, speak up. I know we're on a delay here. Nicole, I'm doing it. Okay. Now when you prune, you want to cut at a 45-degree angle. And I don't want this one to grow back, so I'm going as close to the main stem as I can. So now I have one growing up low here. Right? Because everything the tree does in its early phases is energy. Right? So if it's using its energy on these little branches, it's not using energy to grow taller. And ultimately, we want it to grow taller. And then you also want to prune because you want it to get sunlight and airflow. And if there's too much going on, it reduces the sunlight and the airflow. So that's my understanding, although over the next couple of weeks, I will be reading the book Teeming with Microbes. And let's just say I'll be taking my knowledge of soilology, is that a word? Soilology, to the next level. All right, so I'm going to cut this one. I'm going to put these right back in here because they could just compost right down. All right. All right, so I have the one main stem and the second main stem. I don't know. I have a sprout on this one. I have a lemon sprout on this one. What do you guys think? I think I'm gonna take this. Definitely gonna take this one off. Because you want it to breathe. I also don't want this growing into itself. I don't know. I don't know what to do. I have to make decisions. Yeah, this tree has character for sure. It's a leaning tree. See, I got a lot of clutter here. Got a lot of... Alright, this one has my lemon bud. I like that one. Maybe I'll cut the one underneath. Cut this one. I'm gonna cut this one. And then I'll cut this one. Alright, I think that's sufficiently pruned. So now I got them. You seeing this, babe? I think I'm done on this one. Maybe I should cut this. Cut this. You guys seeing this? Maybe just this one. Babe, what do you think about this one? I got the... Because this is going to grow into this.
Cut it off. Hold on.
Alright, I think this is pretty uncluttered now. And this is going up, this is going that way. So we have 3 main stems here. Including our lemon sprout. What are you watching? Oh, you're putting the intensity. She's putting the intensity. Alright, I'm gonna go get the other plants.
How's the music? I wish I was down here before so I could have put it on when he was cutting them. Well, it wasn't as dramatic as I wanted it to be. I have to find a different song for him to do the next one. How about like a Freddy Krueger? song.
I gotta call Sean. I could already hear him yelling at me from my past gardens. Gotta prune these, bro.
Oh, we should have called Sean.
Gotta prune these, bro. These plants can't even breathe. My buddy used to get mad at me. He'd come to my garden. What's wrong with you? Prune these plants. All right. So this one, I mean, maybe this, yeah, fell off. I actually don't think we have to prune this really. I think this one's good. Well, yeah, you're so stop it.
Yeah, that one's good.
I think this one's good. I mean, maybe this because it's grown into this.
Ouch!
Hurt my plants.
My leg!
All right, this
My
one's good.
strong hand.
That's my strong, grab my strong hand. All right, and then this one.
We should dress up in Halloween costumes and then do this with the scary music on.
This we don't need. Yeah, like we don't need the low ones down here. You stop it. Pick that off. Don't need any of these low ones because you want the energy going up the plant.
Alright, baby.
I think that's good, really.
Yeah, I think you're good.
I think we're good. And these are growing out. Look at this. Look how
Ouch.
these three are growing out
Ow.
in different directions. So I think that's good, actually. I think that's beautiful. All right. All right. Brushing. Okay.
I don't know. Don't ask me.
I don't know what this one does. Oh, it just widens it. So it's shorter, wider. And this locks it. All right. All right, guys.
Can you tell we're beginners at homesteading?
Pretty good? I feel good about it. I feel, Aubrey, you feel good about it? Hey, baby. I know, your teeth are coming in. I know, it hurts. It hurts.
I posted a video.
Oh, nice, on TikTok?
Yep. My first one in God knows how long.
Mrs. Classical Learner posted a video. Go support it. Like, comment, share,
And
do. What's the video on?
my blueberry banana muffins.
Oh, she made blueberry banana muffins from scratch. Yeah, they were good. I ate them.
Like 6 of them.
I had like 6 of them. I don't regret it. I'm not ashamed of it.
No, I have another one now.
So, all right, guys. I think this has been productive. I wanted to talk about the media, and I definitely wanted to prune this plant before Melissa RV'd here. Hold on, this one needs. Look at this leaf. It's growing right into this. All right, now we're good.
Couldn't I just rip that one?
Now you gotta do it right. All right, guys. Freedom isn't free. Oh, I might not be here tomorrow. I don't know. Apparently, my mother might be flying here tomorrow, which I'd be very excited about. So I don't know. Can you shut that off? I just hear me echoing.
I'm sorry, I was watching you on the screen.
Yeah.
You're next to me.
So, yeah, that's right. I'm on camera. I have to do it the correct way. So, yeah, if my mother comes here tomorrow, then I probably won't be streaming. Or maybe I'll do a Mama Classical Learner stream. Ooh.
Yeah, she can talk about speech pathology.
Ooh. Possibly. Possibly. All right. Special guest, my mom. All right. So, guys, this was fun. Freedom isn't free. We have to earn it every day, and I might be back tomorrow to earn it. And, all right, Classical Learner on everything. ClassicalLearner.com. Homeschools Connected. Use the promo code together, $10 a month. And I'll see you tomorrow. Maybe. Allegedly. Could it be? Don't quote me. God bless. Well, here's the thing. I still have to do the video for the second channel. And I do want to go get the fertilizer. Or whatever. The nitrogen.